Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. This is your favorite friend, Jay or Jaylan Salah, as you formerly know her, film critic at Geek Vibes Nation and In Session Film. Today, I had the pleasure of interviewing actor Dylan Flashner and director-writer Barry J. of Like Father, Like Son, which is a very dark, intense, emotional roller coaster, psychological thriller kind of movie, but it also is very multi-layered. And I had a great time watching it, but also a lot of questions. So, Barry and Dylan, very happy to talk to you today.
Thank you so
Wow,
much.
happy to
Thanks for
be
having
here.
us.
Okay, Barry, I want to ask you why the story? What compelled you to make this film?
Well, I felt like many of us have. I fell down this rabbit hole of serial killer documentaries. And, being a writer who writes horror, I just thought I'd just find, well, what would my angle be? And I just thought there's a couple of things. You ever do something like your parents and you're not even aware you're doing it, and then you suddenly like, oh, my mother does this a lot, you know?
Yes.
So I just thought, what is that? So I went to Maya Bialik, who's a neuroscientist. I said, could it be a hereditary factor? Could there be an element? And she said, yeah, there absolutely could be a connection. And then I researched more based on that. I said, okay, let's dig deep. And I found a father on death row. After he was put to death, he had a baby at home, and when the baby grew up, became a serial killer. So I was like, okay, I'm all in. There's something here, and look, and I had dad issues that I had to overcome. There were things about my dad I didn't like in me. They surface once in a while, and I know what they are, and I still don't like them. But I just thought that also would play into it. Just, how does anger get passed down, you know?
Definitely. Wow, this is very interesting. Okay, Dylan, this character, Eli, very multi-layered. A lot of things to grasp, a lot of things to hold, a lot of things to make sense of. How did you, as an actor, tap into him?
Oh man, I talk about this a little bit with my friends, but I went in isolation for about 3 weeks and didn't really talk to anybody, didn't really, leave the house or anything like that. And you just have to kind of get into this dark, sort of twisted area, but also stay human. And I think that's the toughest thing about our job. But yeah, I did a lot of research on serial killers. I watched a lot of serial killer documentaries. I watched a lot of serial killer shows. Um, but yeah, that was basically my prep for this one.
There's no spoilers. There's this opening scene where it's kind of bloody. It sets you in to what you can expect, because it came as a shocker to me, but it was also a very great shocker because it's kind of like set the tone for the film and for the character itself. So I don't know, did you always have it in mind that way? Did you know it will start like that?
Yes. I mean,
Wow.
yes. I mean, yes. When I started putting the bullet points together, and the outline, it's called a cold open when you're writing. I don't know if you know that, but so it's a cold open really just really grabs somebody right away, you know. And I just thought we need to start with the catalyst, like let's get the ball rolling. What starts this chain of events?
Dylan, I want to, okay. Okay. I want to ask you about working with Dermot Mulroney because,
Yeah.
I mean, the one-on-one scenes were just fantastic. And I loved the antagonism and I loved all the, like hidden emotions. Of course, Barry, wow, kind of like played them like a pro. But I don't know, as an actor, how do you do that and what it feels like to have this, like one-on-one with another great player as if you're in a
Oh,
match?
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I think, Dermot is so talented and so veteran at what he does. I think it makes it a lot easier on me than it does for him. I mean, he's working with somebody who has a little less experience, of course. And um, one thing about Dermot is he's very giving and he's very helpful. He helped me a lot during this process and gave me a lot of tips and everything like that. And I really can't thank him enough.
And Barry, because the movie is really intense and violent, and there are lots of scenes where, your actors go to very dark places, how do you, as a director, ensure to create a safe environment to protect them and to allow them to be vulnerable while also allowing them to give their all emotionally?
Oh, I mean, I'm a huge believer in a happy set. If you can create a place where they can look forward to come every day, everyone's kind, and we had the greatest cast and crew. We just did. I mean, you could only feel safe around them. The DP was amazing, so nice. Yeah, it was just one of those surroundings where you felt like you could just let go, as a director too. I
Yes.
just felt like, we're all going to some dark places here, but we know it's a movie, we're having fun doing it because you can have fun going to dark places just for fun, you know?
That is the safest that you can do. Like you want to go dark, then create art. This will allow you to. Okay. I want to ask you about Ariel Winter. Okay. Casting her because I felt like she was a breath of fresh air. Seriously.
For me and for Dylan, you broke up a little bit.
For Barry, I want to ask you about
Oh,
casting Ariel Winter.
oh,
So I want to
well,
know because I really liked her because she was like a very contrast to Eli as her
yeah.
character, as Haley. And she was a breath of fresh air, seriously, because it was a very dark film and many dark characters and people going through a lot. And she was like this appearing, disappearing kind of character that really got you in. So I want to ask you about the process.
Well, what I love about Haley and writing her is that she's been through a lot and she hasn't let it douse her spirit. She's very strong. She got away from the bad scenario. She saw the good in Eli, maybe too much, but she believes in the good in the world and in people. And now I did not cast her. I cannot take credit. I was on FaceTime with Dylan working through the script, and I said, I wonder who we're going to get for Haley. He said, I think they're talking to Ariel Winter, and I screamed. I just love Ariel Winter. I'm a huge Modern Family fan. And I went and watched her movie with Burt Reynolds, the last film he did. And I was like, this is Haley. This is Haley. She's strong and snappy, and yet she's also really fun and pretty. And she just slipped right into the role. And she's a great actress. And she's just really great. She nailed it.
She is. Okay, so my final question for both of you. First, Dylan, there is a scene where I, as a viewer, would feel like, wow, this is so easy. But for you, probably it was the most difficult, intense, boring, maybe scene for you to capture. Like maybe I would think the most difficult scene for you was a murder scene, but maybe it was a dialogue scene for you. So I know your most difficult scene shooting, which probably for me wouldn't seem that difficult.
Yeah, I think the most difficult scene was filming the last one.
Ooh.
I don't want to ruin it too much for everybody, but that was a long scene, and I think it was difficult to stay in character that long. I think it has such a powerful message and everything like that. You just want to exude the message and make sure that everyone understands it. And yeah, I think the last scene for me was the toughest one to film, and that's probably a little surprise to some people, but yeah.
And Barry, for you, the most difficult scene to shoot, but probably for me, I don't imagine this is the most difficult scene for you.
Well, what Dylan said, that was the one that
Okay.
comes to mind. But another one is anytime Dermot and Eli, uh, Gabe and Eli,
Mm.
opposite each other, in those phone call, face to face. It just reminded me so much of, dad passing down anger, and it was almost like brainstorming. It was just creepy, but yet really engaging. Like the difficult part was seeing the father and son connection, like I saw it in my dad. It just made it very real.
Definitely, definitely. Well, thank you so much, both of you. You were so generous with your answers. I really like the movie. Can't wait for the world to see it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having us.
Have a great
Appreciate it.
day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.